Hello everyone. So we'll continue our discussion on data visualization in Python. So we have already discussed about Matplotlib. That library provides functionalities for drawing different types of plots which help us in visualization of data. So our current topic of discussion is pandas. So pandas library we have already discussed. We know the different data structures and how to use them, but pandas help in visualization as well. So for using pandas, we'll first import matplotlib. Pandas creates by default one line plot for each of the columns with numeric data. So line plot is the default plotting in pandas. Okay, so we can use the plot method similar with matplotlib, because plot method on series and data frame is just a simple wrapper around plt.plot. So the plot method we have used in matplotlib, it is actually used indirectly in pandas also. So it is actually a wrapper method in pandas, the plot method that is used for series or data frame objects. Okay, there are different plot styles. As for matplotlib, we have seen that either I can use directly the plot method with different kind options, or I can use the plot method also. So it is similar here as well. So there are different types of plots that we can draw. So it is bar or bar h for bar plots, hist for histogram, box for box plots, KD or density for density plots, area for area plots, scatter for scatter plots, hex bean for hexagonal bean plots, and pie for pie plots. Okay, so this is almost similar like matplotlib. So let us check in Jupyter Notebook. So I will move to Jupyter Notebook now. Okay, fine. So this is my pandas visualization script. Okay, so here I will import both the libraries, matplotlib and pandas. So let us first import. Okay, so import is done. In the next statement, I am reading with one file named ls.csv. This file is saved in the same directory where my Jupyter Notebook file is saved, and I am reading this file and I am saving it in the data frame named ls. Okay, so I will just execute this ls.head method. That will give me the first 5 records of the file. So as I have executed, you can see these are the records. So if you check the records, you will understand that this is actually about the Lok Sabha election candidate details. So it has the state, constituency, name, winner means whether the candidate was a winner or not, then the party, symbol, gender, how many criminal cases are there for that person, the age of that person, category, what is the education of that candidate, what is the total asset, what is the liability, and what are the general votes and postal votes and total votes. Then over total electors in constituency, this is total votes polled in constituency and total electors. So these many records are available in this data file. Okay, so now I am going to have some visualization of this data using the plot method of this pandas library. Okay, so the simple one, the first one, you can see I have simply write ls.plot. So let us execute this. Okay, so this simple code is executed, and actually it is showing the line plots for different types of data. Okay, different types of numerical data for all the numerical fields. It is showing same line plot, though it is not much clear right exactly what it is showing. So okay, one more thing, important thing is that we'll use in most of the notebooks that matplotlib inline with this command. Whenever I am writing any code to do the visualization, the plotting, so every plot will be shown here, okay, in these interactive notebooks. So this line is important, so I will execute this. Fine. Okay, now it is a specific thing. Now I am calling the plot method, but here I am sending the x and y values, okay, because otherwise if it is too generic, then it is actually not useful for me. So here my purpose is I want that I want to plot actually the number of postal votes against the total votes. So let us execute this. Okay, now you can see that I am getting these line plots. So for every total votes value for each record, the corresponding postal votes value is plotted and the lines are drawn. So actually there are a lot of records here, and they are mostly having the same values, means same region values. That's why you are actually getting a blue cluster here, as there are so many records. Okay, now instead of line graph, if I want a bar graph, as I told you that I can execute this plot method and I can give this kind equal to bar argument. Okay, if I execute this, let us see. It may take time because there are a lot of records in this file. That's why it may take some time to generate the bar graph. So it is actually similar with your matplotlib, but it is kind of a wrapper, as I told you. So you can directly use our data frames and series objects, and you can use the plot method on those objects. That is the advantage here. So you can see this bar graph is generated, but as there are so many records, so it is not that much clear or useful maybe. Okay, so we have to be very specific on our requirement, then only we can get some better insight from the graphical representations. Okay, so it is this command is also similar with the earlier one. Here I have called ls.plot and I have sent kind equal to bar, and here I have called ls.plot equal to bar. So these two are actually same, it will give you the same result. Okay, so now I'm moving to the another type of graph, that is the scatter plot. So here you can see that in the scatter plot I have given x and y values, and this is the title. Okay, so scatter plot, what it does, that it actually gives you the relationship between two features or two columns, you can say. So here I want to know that how this age and total votes are related, if there is really any relationship between these two features. That's what I am trying to understand. So I'm just executing this. Okay, so you can see this type of one scatter plot is generated. So actually the data is scattered in the entire region, so may not be very useful for me to get any good relationship. Okay, fine. So election candidates was the title, and these are the x and y axis values. Okay, so this is my scatter plot generated. Then this is histogram. So histogram is something where I have, for any numeric values, I can get the frequency of a particular range of numeric values. Okay, so if I execute this, so you can see this is the total vote. So it is from 0 to something 10 lakhs range, and for suppose 0 to 10,000, this is the frequency, means the candidates getting total votes 0 to 10,000 is more than 1,000. That is the frequency. Okay, so it actually takes some range of values, and for that range of values it calculates the frequency. That's why histogram is useful. So here I did not give any parameter here, simply the hist method was called. in the next statement here I am actually giving some parameters in the HIST method. So here subplots equal to true. So subplots we have already discussed in matplotlib. So subplots is something where I have some multiple plots, and here you can see that I did not mention any specific column or feature, but I'm just calling this histogram for all the parameters and all the columns of this data set. Okay, the layout is 4 by 2, 4 by 2, 4 comma 2 means 4 by 2, total 8 subplots will be generated. This is the total figure size, and this is the beans. So beans we have already discussed. Beans means the number of ranges. So here if you can see, so 0 to 10,000, 10,000 to 20,000. So these are each bean is there. Okay, so you can set the number of beans that you have seen in matplotlib. So it is the similar kind of thing. So if you execute this command, so it will be actually this histograms are generated for all different numerical columns. Okay, so first one is winner, then age, then votes. Okay, so all the numerical values, sum total of 4 into 2, 8 plots, subplots are generated. Okay, they all are histograms. Okay, then I have this ls category. Okay, so what I am doing, so you can see for this particular column I have called few functions. One is value counts, then sort index, then plot dot bar. So how it works I will tell you. Let us first execute this. So if you see here, it is a bar graph. So as I told you earlier that bar graph is similar to histogram, but histogram it is for the numeric values it calculates the frequency, and in bar graph generally we have the categorical values, and for categorical values for each possible values it generates the number of occurrences kind of thing. So here category means the caste, so it can be general or SC or ST. So there are actually 3 categories mentioned in the data set. So for each data category it is showing the number of occurrences. So as you can see from this data you can understand that most of the candidates are from the general category, then SC, then ST. So this information. So why these functions are useful? First of all, this value counts. Okay, so when I have written ls category dot value counts, that means for each value of this category it calculates the total number of counts. Okay, so it first generates the how many numbers of general candidates and how many numbers of SC candidates and how many numbers of ST candidates. So these things are generated. So then I have this sort index method. This sort index method, it actually sorts the record. So first of all general is coming, then SC, then ST. So this sorting is done, and then this plot method, plot dot bar is called. So first of all this data is retrieved ls category, then the count is generated for each value of category, then it is sorted, and then it is plotted in a bar graph. Okay, then I have another similar statement where I have taken this education column, and again I am doing the value counts, then sort index, and then plot, and bar h. Bar h means it will generate some horizontal bar. Okay, so if you execute this statement, then you can see that now the bar graph is horizontal. So now in the y-axis you have the categorical values. Okay, for education I have these many types of education values in the data set. So for each value it is calculating the number of occurrences. So this is how I can generate different types of graphs using our pandas plot method. Okay, so that's all about pandas visualization. So our next topic will be Seaborn. So in the next part of this session we are going to discuss the Seaborn library and how it is helping in data visualization.